What's up, everybody? I don't know if you've seen this, but the RLS summer tool promos are back. For a limited time, you can save $500 on tools and jaws used with the RLS press fittings for HVAC and refrigeration. That includes a 19 kilonewton tool with 5 jaws, or a 32 kilonewton tool, or you can get an 8 jaw set for a 32 kilonewton tool that can be used with the Klauke, Rigid, Milwaukee, and many others. For complete offer details, visit rapidlockingsystem.com/save. RLS press fittings offer so many advantages over brazing. You get reliable joints in about 10 seconds with no flame, no fire hazard, no brazing materials, no burn permits, no fire spotters, and no nitrogen purging. Plus, you get the reliability of the most proven HVACR press fittings on the market. The only ones that have been in use since 2015 and have more than 15 million installed fittings in the field. Once again, get all the details on the RLS Summer Tool promos at rapidlockingsystem.com/save. What's up, everybody? So you seen the RLS out there, and I'm excited to have Paul here. So I'm gonna add Paul in. So what's up, Paul? How you been, man?
Dude, Pat, what's going on, my man? How you been, sir?
Another great day. Another great day. So I can't complain. No one will listen anyways, right?
Yeah, I seen you busting on a stove and drinking some bourbon, dude. So there we go.
Yeah. That was the third stogie for the day. So I came home early. Had to do quite a big job. Called my local supplier. Guy never called me back. Trying to buy a rooftop unit and got ignored. So it is what it is. So I hung out and did some stuff around here. I don't mind getting home early every once in a while, goofing off. So
Hey, there's a lot of days you guys, most of my texts from contractors are on Saturdays and Sundays, so it's kind of weird. It's a 7-day job, so I guess on a Thursday, whatever, dude, you get half of it off. So I went a little more sophisticated on you tonight, dude. So give me a toast, okay? I poured a glass of wine. I seen you had some bourbon. There we go, dude. Good things going on with you, man.
mm-hmm. always,
Yeah.
always. I drink some wine. I've never drank wine. I drank like 5 or 6 full glasses of wine after drinking like bourbon. Then went back to bourbon, and I literally wanted to die the next day. So I swore off the wine. I was like, I'll never do it again.
What, you're saying the wine? You got a headache or what?
Oh, I don't know if it was the wine or everything else I did.
Oh, is it? It probably was. The bourbon guys, they can drink gallons of bourbon and then they have 2 glasses of wine and they act dumb. But wine guys are honestly the opposite, right? I mean, I can drink liters of it, but you give me 2 glasses of bourbon, man, I'm smoked. So I don't know why it's like that. Someone would have to explain it to me.
There's science to it. I can't do the wine. I did like I said, I've never drank it. We went out to dinner at some fancy place. Smith is in Chicago. Never been there. Went with corporate guys. They took me out. Of course, I don't pay anything when I go with them. It's a free for all. So I'm just like I freak out when I see this stuff. I'm like, don't worry about it. You're not paying for it. So okay, it is what it is. I pay for it with my blood, sweat, and tears. But
yeah. Well, they only have one thing in common. They're both expensive. So
yeah.
What bourbon are you drinking tonight?
Blanton's. I finally got.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. So you splurged.
Yeah, and a buddy of mine had it, and he bought it from a little local liquor store in Sheridan, Indiana, a little bitty tiny town. I guess they get it every other week. But he bought it. He never opened it. He went down to he did some tour, and he was at Blanton's distillery, and he didn't like it. He's like, "Hey, do you want this?" He's like, "I paid $100 for it. Just give me the money." I was like, "Dude, I'll give you $130 for it, dude." So I paid him for it, and then yesterday he actually texted me. He's like, "Hey, they got some more in." He said, "I'm gonna go over there and see if they got any." He said, "Do you want some?" I said, "That's not even a question." It's that anytime you go in there and they have Blanton's, you buy the bottle and I'll pay you for it.
Yeah. So do you like it hot? Like, do you like a little bite on it, or is that what I can't remember what Blanton's tastes like?
Blanton's got a little bite on it. That's why he didn't like it.
Yeah, that's why I didn't like it. Yeah. See, I don't like it either. I like a smooth one, like I'm gonna say Eagle Rare. I love, but it doesn't have that
Yeah, he
bite.
loves
Like, yeah.
I like the bite, but I put mine on ice. I caught hell because I had that video. Me slamming the cup down, slamming the ice cube in there, slamming the bottle. I thought I broke the bottle because I made a weird sound when I did it. I was getting ready to cry when I was recording. I didn't break it, thankfully. But no,
Yeah, but do you catch shit over ice? You don't, do you? I mean, everyone likes it on the rocks.
yeah, some of you guys are like,
I
oh,
guess hardcore guys like it neat.
I can't do it. I don't have one of those little fancy Glencairn glasses. And
Yeah, I like it with ice. It's got to breathe a little bit, man.
Yeah, I'd let it sit for a little bit on ice and then.
But with a cigar, good Lord, they're good with cigars.
Yeah, did you ever drink that bottle of that stuff I gave you?
I drank every drop of it. Yeah, that was good. That was in, was that Bloomington or where was that?
Hard Truth, so it's down in Brown County.
Oh, Brown County. That's right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, that was good.
Yeah,
You know why? Because it wasn't hot.
yeah. I liked it. I bought 3 or 4 bottles of that stuff. It's pretty good. I go through periods where I drink more than I should. So when I get to where I want it, like I have to have it, I cut myself back. I do the same thing with cigars. I get to where like I'll be driving, like, oh, I want a cigar, and I'm like, I see a cigar shop, I'm like, I can't do this. I got to chill for a couple of weeks. So I go through periods where I'll do it, and then periods where I don't. So
Yeah, sometimes on weekend nights, if my brother comes over, I'll have 3 or 4 cigars, and I'm talking about through the whole night. But I regret it, man. Waking up, it's like, God dang it, I should have just had one of those. I don't know. Men overdo those kind of things, alcohol, tobacco, all that stuff.
So I wanted to have you on and talk about RLS. I mean, you're the man, the myth, the legend. So you guys got your new facility out there in St. Louis.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. Yeah, so that we just had our 1 year anniversary. So we have 5 employees from the original batch that just made their 1 year anniversary, and that was, I'm gonna say, a few days ago. So I think we probably have 100 employees now, hourly employees that are making parts. And I can't remember when you visited, but we probably had half that. I don't think there was that many.
Oh yeah, because you're still waiting on new machines. You were still waiting on some machines to come over.
Yeah, that's all in. Yeah, that's all done. So all the assets are in. We broke a production record last month. We broke a sales record last month. We tracked packing, all those kind of things, and they were all broken. Now international's going strong. It's kind of the first time in a long time where all the regions are running strong. And we're working hard, right? I mean, we got a lot of sales guys that work hard in the field. We're working hard, on marketing, all the things that, pile up into, a successful brand. And honestly, I think it's twofold, right? One is you got a good product, but two, we work hard with you guys. I think you can certainly see that. Other guys do too.
Oh yeah, I love it. I mean,
And I think guys see that, it's not just a company trying to sell you anything. We're kind of laser focused on one thing. We don't try to sell everything. We have one item, and we try to be good at that one item. So hopefully it pays off, and we continue to grow market share. But this industry's funny, man. Market share is slow. Guys are hesitant still, even after 7 years and 15 million, 16 million joints later. You still, the market is slow to adopt. It's a technology that's, I don't want to say not trusted, just a lot of guys just don't trust it to even start doing it. But if you can do it, they tend to like it and tend to use it. So
I love it. I was fortunate enough to be at the right place at the right time. Started talking to you and found out you went to graduate school in my hometown, and we just kind of clicked. And,
yeah. I had my MBA from Anderson University.
Yeah, you live in Indiana, weekends anyways. So
yeah, that's funny actually. Yeah, so it's just a couple of Hoosiers tonight, man, which I love.
yeah, so it's cool. But man, that tool, I don't use it as much as I feel like I should, just because I don't have a whole lot of opportunities. It comes and goes. My refrigeration duties, we split it amongst the guys, and I don't do. Sometimes I do more, sometimes I don't do hardly any. But I mean, that tool has saved my tail tons of time. I mean, brand new Riley Hospital, they had a brand new kitchen. They had a unit, had a back compressor, and they built it in, and you couldn't get to the compressor to service it. So they sent us a whole new condenser unit. But, well, just a little low. Sorry, guys. Let me turn that up. But brazen air. They'd let us brazen air, but it had to be 2 guys. And then one guy had to stay 8 hours after the job was done. Not after the torch was out, but after the job was done. So
yeah, well, I mean, that's why there's press technology, right? Is those guys don't want to do all that.
So they said, hey, it has to be done on Saturday when the kitchen serving area is closed. So I went in there on Saturday. Luckily, I didn't have to brace stubs in because I had a whole condenser unit. So I went in there, reclaimed it, cut it, deburred it, cleaned it up, pressed it. I had the thing back running in like 2 hours. and I was out of there on a Saturday. And if we would have had to braise it, it'd have been a 12-hour ordeal. It'd have been ridiculous. So
Oh yeah, oh yeah. There's and obviously there's a lot of buildings that just won't even let you pull a torch, but that's the benefit. It's ease of install. Now, what we've worked on hard in the last 7 years is getting all the other stuff right, so that think about on day one or day two of RLS, you didn't have dryers, and there was no ancillary items. There was nothing compatible. I mean, it was like, that's where I think over time, over 6 or 7 years, we've worked hard to kind of fill all those gaps. And now, hopefully, you'll see, equipment manufacturers and, start to get on board. I don't know if that's anywhere close. I mean, we scream about it all the time. I've said this on many podcasts and to many people, but I think it's to the point to where it's you guys now screaming, because wholesalers are on board, manufacturers on board now. It takes the end user, but it's still a game where if you did it, you're going to make half the people mad and half the people happy. And I don't think you ever get out of that scenario. But
yeah, we got someone in the comments said I wouldn't use it enough to make sense for me to buy it. You'd be surprised how much you'd actually use it. I did some installs where I rebuilt complete walk-in coolers. I used it on every single fitting in there. The burn permit situation. I mean, it comes into play more than you actually realize. A lot of times now, if I do a system and I have a condensing unit or remote condensing unit outside, instead of putting back in a braze or sweating dryer, I put in I buy the RLS press fittings for the flares. I just put a flare dryer in. I mean, it saves time, saves money. It pays for itself.
yeah, so obviously that's the hardest challenge, right? You got to make an investment, just like any tool, and that investment either has to pay itself off, or if you don't think it does, then it won't. But I mean, spending, I don't know, what do you pay for them in the field? See, I sell them. What I sell them for, obviously you don't buy them for that price. But I think take a tool and 8-jaw kit. They're probably, I think our TK5, which is a tool and 5 jaws, probably is in the $2,800 to $3,300 range in the field. So it's not small. It's not small change, man. You're dumping some money on it.
Yeah.
I was looking the other day, Pat. Over the last 5 years, we have sold, and I'm talking about us selling into the field. So put some number on this, right? So I looked the other day and we're almost at $60 million of tools and jaws we've sold into the field globally, not just, obviously not the USA. It's all over Australia, Japan, all over Europe, South America, Canada. So, I mean, it's going everywhere, but it's six, so take that and times, I don't know, 30% on that. And that's probably what, what it's really worth to the field. So it's going crazy. And listen, we're one manufacturer now. There's more than just us in there now. So it's not just us anymore, but it just shows you the markets. And I mean, we have a sliver of the market. I mean, if you look at the USA, we've done studies over and over and over. There's probably 30 million joints that get brazed every year in the USA, just the USA. I mean, you were just talking minuscule market share, and you'll probably never be over 20 or 25%. I don't think, I think if you talk to like Viga or, another water press guy, they've been in it 30 years and they probably don't have 20 or 30% market share. I would bet they're nowhere close to that, or maybe they are, but they're not 40 or 50%. So, I think predominantly you're always going to braze, predominantly you're always going to sweat, and then you'll make up this 20, 30% where, guys are pressing and doing other things. So yeah, we got a long way to go. Obviously, the benefits are there, but you got to weigh them out, and, guys like tools. So, guys like doing things better, faster, cleaner, and all that. I think over time, you'll start to see that market share grow.
Yeah. I mean, so take one of my instances I had last fall. It's, my son works for me. He just started, had never brazed. I had a leak. It was above a walk-in cooler freezer combo, and it was small. And I'm a big guy, and he's 170 pounds soaking wet. I mean, he's in shape. He does his stuff. And it was where a pipe came through the wall, and they didn't support it, and it rubbed together. It rubbed out. No one else could get in there because you go through a pretty small hole and climb over some duct work and some bracing and stuff. And We went outside. I knew where the leak was. He went there, found it because there was dye everywhere. I didn't put the dye in there. Someone else did, but he found the leak. So we came back. We went outside, and I showed him how to use the tool on putting in the flare fittings for the dryer. And I showed him, a couple of fittings outside the truck. I gave him the tool, the deburr, the cutter, pipe, and all the fittings, and I shoved him back in his hole. I said, guess what? He fixed it. It pulled down to like 300 microns. I haven't had a problem with it since.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that right there just proves that, this technology is viable, and it's a great tool to have because, I mean, even if I could have got in there, this is Butler University. It's a historic building. You can't get a burn permit on demand. You have to go to the county.
No, yeah. Yeah.
So anytime we get a burn permit there, you have to go to the county building, wait in line. It's a nightmare. It's like
and throwing him in a crawl space, or an attic, a hot attic, right? I mean, either one's terrible, but he'll do his prep work down there if he knows he's got to go back down.
Yeah, he killed it, man. He liked it. So I always tell him, I was like, well, when I step up, because I'm trying to get some tooling, I'm trying to get start doing some water and some gas stuff. And when I do that, I'm gonna get the RLS jaws for the gun. And I'm gonna give him my set. I'm like, here, you can have my set, So there'll be two of us running around Indianapolis for my company with him, but. Yeah, he liked it.
What tool are you getting?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm probably gonna get the big rigid gun. Right?
Okay, the 351 or 350.
Yeah, because I got to be able to do 2-inch copper, and I want to get into some gas line stuff, and then of course I'll probably end up getting into some bigger gas line stuff, just because I always run into kitchens and nothing's ever right when I do installs, and I got to be able to adapt on the fly, and it's gonna be easier to cut and add in a T versus.
Well, I got all those jaws at RLS, so you just stop by, dude. I'll load you up with them.
Hell yeah, I'll be by. I won't go back out since everything's up and running. You guys,
yeah. We'll do something fun. That's you got to come back out now that it's running. No, but that's our number one question for guys, right? Is our goal at RLS is to try to find out what they want to. Because listen, you're going to make a big investment into jaws or tools or whatever. Excuse me, but if you can convince them, okay, do you use gas, or will you ever press for gas or water? And if that answer is yes, then you don't sell them one of our clocky tools. You're trying to get them into a rigid platform or other platforms, but they don't need that tool because you're not going to be able to do the other stuff with it. It's very rare, especially in the United States. In other parts of the world, guys do HVAC or they do plumbing. They don't do all that stuff, but then a clocky tool is perfect, and it's the cheapest way to get into the market, man. The tools are inexpensive, and you don't need those big, heavy tools to press RLS anyway. Mm-hmm. So those guys can get in a lot cheaper. But, we sell a hell of a lot of rigid and Milwaukee guns because – and we don't sell them. I'm saying, for rigid in Milwaukee because once we find out they do water or gas, it's like, man, you got to go get this. Mm-hmm. And I think then it pays off, right? It's like, okay, I don't press for gas, I don't press for water. It's like, well, damn, dude, there you go. Now you got 3 markets you can go use that gun in, and it's all very similar, man. You got to tube prep all that, you got to do it all. So so the markets are very similar. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the press profiles are a little different, and I got to press this one a little bit different than this one. But at the end of the day, man, follow the instructions. And it shouldn't be that difficult. So, I post up all of our problems, right? Mm-hmm. So it's, I post them all up because we get them all the time. And I just try to show what everybody does wrong by not following instructions. So we get those all the time.
Well, I've created too in the field from, there's a cooking equipment line and company that uses your guys' fittings. And they use quite a bit of them. And I had a guy go out there and he swore up and down the fitting was leaking, and he cut it out, and he didn't do his job right. Full good vacuum, didn't use his micron gauge. We could go on and on about guys not doing stuff right, but it leaked out again. He went back and said he had another fitting leaking, was throwing a fit. Well, this was leaking now, and so I had him cut it out and give it to me, and I showed it to you. You could look in the fitting, and you can see the overhead pushed out.
Yeah. It's not. You got to be. I don't want to say you got to be delicate because they're pretty robust, but there's a lot of stuff that can go wrong. Obviously there's tube issues. Like in one guy, the most recent one was zippers on tube, right? And they had 25 5/8 fittings leaking on this one line. I was like, all 25? I was like, dude, there's a tube problem bad, and it was a zipper. And for me, man, it's hard to see. our engineers were like, "Oh my God, these are zippers." Those are pretty rare, but man, there's there's stuff that can go wrong. So, and the crappy part about that one is you're not going to see it. You got to pressure test it. You're going to do a big old run, and it's like, damn it, man, you don't like for that stuff to happen to those guys because the first thing you blame, and I've said this my whole life at RLS, is the first thing you blame is that fitting. Uh-oh, you got a problem. It's like, no, we don't, man. It's something else. It's that O-ring, that seal's been cut somehow. There's a defect in that tube that's allowing the because refrigerant molecules are small.
Mm-hmm.
So, deep scratches. I mean, that seal, it's pretty malleable. It's going to cover a bunch of stuff, but it's not bulletproof, man. So you got to do all the steps.
Yeah, and you guys are on it, man. When I was there, you had your engineer. You guys had some stuff you were checking, some product quality stuff he was going through, and he was going through every single fitting and double.
Well, we 100% inspect every single fitting that leaves that plant, and we're not perfect, man. I mean, even with 100% inspection and with machines, the human eye, I mean, as it goes through those stages, it gets inspected a lot, and some, and we're not perfect. I mean, we're damn close, but it's hard to be perfect. So, there is some stuff that gets out once in a while that drives me nuts, but at the end of the day, we'll usually always take care of it for somebody.
Yeah, Matt Waxer, proper prep is absolute key to proper press. Yeah, no matter what you're pressing, follow the proper procedures, make sure it's clean, deburred, no imperfections on the pipe, that kind of stuff, and you won't have a problem. The doctor.
Yeah. So, I did get rid of a skew. We found it in Canada on the largest VRF project, one of the largest one we've ever done. And it's a mechanical that did press for the first time. We had micro cracks in a transition joint on a 4-step reducer. So you're going from 1 1/8 down to 1/2 inch. I mean, like that fast.
Wow.
And, the worst issue we can ever have is, you go to pressure test it. It's got, let's just say you put it at 500 PSI and you come back in a week and it's 450 PSI. So you got these leaks, right, that are slow. And, so we've eliminated that skew because the stress going from transition from 1 1/8 to 1/2 inch when you're machining it down was too drastic. And so we sell, I'm going to make this up, but I'm going to get close. 200 of those a year globally. And it's like, wipe that out.
That's a lot of work just to sell 200 fittings. I mean,
yeah, but you have to have them all. That's what I'm saying. It's, most of your volume is in 20 or 25 SKUs is 80%. So we're talking millions are in 20 to 25 SKUs. And then the other 125 are all that stuff you need because, like you said earlier, if you can't pull a burn permit, then you got to have all that stuff available, or the minute you pull it, why not just braze it all, right?
Yep. Yeah. So your training facility, are you guys up and running in there yet, or you still got some visitors? Or
yeah, so we're in the process of finalizing that. We've got drawings that are finalized. We're getting ready to start bringing contractors through at a heavier rate. We had a sister company making some product in there. It's an indoor air quality product it's an ozone system that you can read about. It's called Serozone. So they were in there for a while. They've got their own building now. And they're running with their own product, so it's kind of a revolutionary indoor air quality product that they're going to market with. That's really good. So yeah, that's going on, and then we're going to turn attention in to fix that training room up and showroom, and really it's just about bringing contractors in, showing them the history of the product, showing them because one thing you guys will never know is all the testing, all the work, all the stuff we've done, so you feel comfortable in the field to use it. And nobody really knows that. I mean, you do because you've been there.
Yeah.
But they're like, okay, have you done a vibration test? It's like, oh my God, yeah. We've done 10 times what any system's ever going to do to it, or 100 times. Who knows? It's a lot more than. So all those things we've done, right? And that's what you get to show contractors is, we'll show you all the good, bad, ugly, and we'll show you everything we've done. And then at the end of the day, you're not going to be hesitant to use it because you'll see what's going on.
Yeah, the facility is sweet. I'd like to get back to see all the extra machines. There's a lot of room in there. I know there's a lot of machines you have to come when I came, but Yeah, it was fun to come in and see all the history, see the stuff. It was cool to blow up well, I didn't guess we didn't blow up a fitting. We blew up a braze joint first, but
Yeah.
that test is pretty cool. People always, I see it all the time. People on posts complaining, "Oh, this is gonna bust. This is gonna bust." I'm like, "No, man. I've got a fitting in my desk that we pumped up to 317 psi. That fitting didn't budge. It didn't pull out. It didn't do nothing."
You said 317, so you're thinking 3017.
Yeah,
Yeah.
3017. It was 3017, and the fitting didn't budge. The pipe didn't pull out, nothing, and the braze caps blew off where the brazing weakened the integrity of the copper.
Yeah, that's why we solder them and don't braze them, so you don't put that much heat to them, or they'll fail even sooner than that. But
So I didn't even.
yeah, and that press gauge will still fit over those joints, and that's what you want to show contractors is like, listen, the joints are not moving; they're just not. And then I think I put a post in one time on my Instagram page where you know how you found max failure of RLS is just connecting to steel.
Yeah.
And obviously the steel is not going to blow before copper, so so they'll blow around 5,000. So if you take, I don't know, 3/4 half-inch fittings, they'll go to 5,000-6,000 psi.
Wow.
So yeah, the strength component is not the problem. The vibration component's not the problem. The freestall is not the problem. It's prep. It's and it's easy to sit here for me to say because I don't do it, but make sure you prep everything right. Well, I've seen some jobs, dude, where it's like, wow, the tube it's old and nasty, and there's a lot of work to do, man. So with new installs, it's a little easier, and it's just like, prep the pipe and do your homework and just take a little bit longer to do it all, and you'll have a great experience. But yeah, there's some scenarios, man, that are gnarly, and the pipe's black, it's 10 years old, it's those are who knows what those, but guys do it all the time.
Oh, that one we did up in the attic, that pipe was probably pretty bad shape, and I just told him make sure you clean it up really good because it had been leaking for years. This thing leaked before I got there, and we've been doing this for 2 years, and no one ever went up there because we couldn't get up there. We didn't know you could get up there. They did a remodel and put a hard ceiling in, but they used recessed lights, and finally found the right maintenance guy. He goes, that light comes up and you can get up there. So we moved the lights and went up there, and sure enough, it was right there, and we found it. But that pipe was, it'd been leaking refrigerant for years, covered in oil and all kinds of stuff. And a kid that had just seen those fittings for the first time that day did it. So,
yeah, and one thing we struggle with, just forget installation for a minute, but codes and standards is something we have fought since day one. There's still parts of the United States where that spurs up and you're fighting a code inspector. Obviously, in Canada, the Ontario's tough with codes, but now as you shift to flammables, so 7 years ago, you're doing A1s, and now A2s and A3s are coming in the market, and the fitting and the seal and the system is compatible to it. But we get that question all the time. Well, hey, this isn't for propanes or isobutanes or any of that, right? It's like, no, it is, but there's no code that allows it. So, that's what RLS is doing now is, turn the attention to the codes. Again, as we shift to these flammable refrigerants so that, you didn't buy a gun for the fun of it. And now you can't use it because R32 is coming in and all these other systems with flammables are coming in. So that's kind of our next step is turning your attention to flammables and trying to get, the codes and standards, robust enough to where, all that stuff is safe, because that's when the prop really comes in, is when you start messing around with, especially when you're doing small refrigeration equipment like Pepsi and all that stuff. Some of those are propane.
Yep. Oh yeah. I deal with that every day. That's more mine.
Yeah.
My bread and butter is the small self-contained restaurant coolers and stuff. I've got an R290 4-door freezer sitting there out here. It's what I make a little promo video in every Friday morning. I'll be out there tomorrow morning making it. But it's R290. It's got some 1/4-inch lines. I'll make a video. I'm gonna cut into it, and I'm gonna go find some 1/4-inch fittings and.
It'll do it. It's propane's no big deal. So Pepsi used to do it in Indianapolis. Actually, they used to put them on those. You'll find Pepsi decks with RLS fittings on it, and that's the R290. So,
we talked about that. I think when I was out there maybe a couple months ago, we talked about that. So the Pepsi plant's like right behind my shop, and that's where they take all the units when they fix them right back over there. So
Yep.
there's a graveyard of Pepsi stuff I drive by every day. So
Yeah, Pepsi's one of the manufacturers that, they own all their equipment in the field. So if one of them's not cooling, it goes back to a hub, and you have technicians that fix it. And
yep, Coke does the same thing, and actually Red Bull does it too. So we used to service Red Bull coolers. So the Red Bull cooler would go down, and the rep would bring them a new cooler, and they take the old one to a warehouse, and they'd call us, and we'd walk in there, and they'd have like 40 Red Bull coolers. Like, okay, this one the compressor doesn't run, so you'd steal parts off one and fix others.
yep.
And you had like 20 minutes to diagnose it, to determine whether it was to be fixed or not. It was nuts.
Good, and they're dumping all that soda, right? I mean, so every cooler, the big ones obviously are, they come in, dump the product. I mean, I'm sure it costs them nothing, but yeah, there's a big savings with RLS on that, which is why they started using it several years ago. Is, now that cooler doesn't have to go back to the hub. You cut the deck off. There's a new deck in the truck. Put the new deck in, charge it. Boom, you're done. The piece of equipment doesn't leave. So that was the prop back then.
Yeah,
I think they're still doing it today, but not at massive rates. But
that's cool. That's cool. So I mentioned quarter inch. So RLS, you guys have from quarter inch up to, you got some big stuff out there now, don't you?
yeah, so listen to this one, and this is what I woke up to today. So Jessica, who handles our marketing department, she's our marketing manager. She flew out to Seattle to Jamie's got a big VRF job going.
I seen her post. She's hanging out with Jamie today. So
Well, yeah, so we shipped all of our XL out there. FedEx lost the box, damaged it, and then they lost. So the jaw showed up, the jaw box with no jaw in it. So my only 1 5/8 jaw is now gone, and so we're filing a claim. So all that 1 5/8 on that job it all got messed up shipping it by FedEx overnight. So FedEx gets an F today for that. So now, the jaws are in production. We have fittings made. We're just waiting on jaws to start, and that we are getting hounded on by those. Like Ulysses at Rise Refrigeration, he's been eager to get that, so we're going to help him out. We got Matt in California who does big Daikin units, and he's been after us for a long time. So we're going to start taking care of some of the guys that have been following us for a long time, and waiting patiently for that as we work through all the issues of launching 1 5/8 and 2 1/8. So we'll be in our press profile from. This is the most important part, right? Our press profile from 1/4 inch to 2 1/8 is the exact same. We don't manipulate fittings. We don't add teeth to the inside. We don't do anything different. It's the same press profile, which shows you how great that press profile is.
Oh yeah, that's crazy. The same exact profile. That's awesome. I look forward to seeing some of that big stuff. I doubt I ever get to that realm. I'm taking pretty well care of where I'm at now, so I don't see me changing up to big industrial refrigeration or anything anytime soon. But I love seeing those guys working on those VRF systems and all those other stuff out there. It always makes me jealous. Always makes me want to change jobs. But I'm excited to see what those guys can do, because there's some guys.
Yeah, watch one of them run a section of 2 1/8 too.
Oh yeah,
it's crazy how long it takes. And obviously the press it's not 10 seconds, but it's.
Yeah,
I think you can do it. These are long stroke tools, so like a normal press tool is 40 millimeter stroke. These are 80, and so it goes from like 10 to 25 seconds or something. But still, you're taking. I don't know what a 2 1/8. I've watched guys take 10 minutes to do it. So you're cutting it down to 45, 50 seconds.
Yeah, that's huge time saving. Just think of the money you save on not flowing nitrogen into that big pipe.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
That's crazy.
The prop starts getting better and better as the tube gets bigger and bigger. So it's it's a good thing.
So sweet. So we got quite a few guys in here. Matt was in here. We got Adrian, Reliable HVAC's in here causing some trouble. Talking about Crocs. They wanted to know if you had a copper-plated Crocs or.
No, Crocs, like the shoes?
Yeah, so that's what they've been killing chats lately, talking about Crocs. So
no, I don't even own a pair of those. I've always hated those shoes.
I don't have them. I got Hey Dudes. That's as bad as I go. So
yeah, no, I have a pair of those.
I wear those when I just walk from the house to the bar, and I don't want to pull their boots. So
when I was in Tokyo a couple weeks ago, they lost my luggage.
Oh
So I
no.
spent 2 days in the same clothes. And I was wearing like I was when you go fly 15, 16 hours, like you try to get comfortable, right? So you're wearing Crocs and not, you know, pants that are comfortable and all that stuff. So I was in those shoes for 2 days, and there's no soles in them, dude. So the more you walk in them, the more your feet hurt. So
Uh-oh. Matt's got a question about the next AHR press to impress contest. Are we going to see all teams with the same press tool?
you know what? Hats off to Shab on that one. Like he was pissed on day. I mean, he figured that out fast.
Oh yeah,
But we didn't know that, right? I mean,
yeah.
well, one, we weren't expecting the gun to go down, so we learned something from Rigid on that. Is you can't. I'm gonna get close on this. You can't press too fast with the Rigid gun, or it airs out. So we shipped that tool back to Rigid, but they were going too fast with it. So I think you get 3 presses a minute. I think is what someone told me. So obviously you're trying to press 10 in a minute. So the tool just freaked out and said, "Uh-oh, hold on, I'm done." So they picked up the clocky tool and it's got a faster cycle time, and Shaw caught that fast. So
Yeah.
he was a loser, but at the end of the day, he caught it. So I don't know, man. I mean, I don't know whatever happened. We felt terrible. We'll just have to make it up to him. I don't know if he would have won or not, but he definitely caught that.
So my mistake was we were trying to like do it. We were trying to like ream it perfectly and everything. Those other guys were like one turn, 50,
Yeah.
1 turn 50. I was like, 6, 7 times trying to be all perfect. And I look over and they're like, stop reaming it. They're only doing it once. They just ream.
Yeah. What we have to do is set specific rules next time. So we'll have to you're putting it together and pressing it, and you eliminate all those steps. So
it was fun. It was a blast. It was cool. It was funny seeing Lance there. That was the best part.
yeah, we love it. Well, I mean, Lance is, we think the world of him. So, we kind of dive into the market, and, we see him as an ally, not as a competitor. So he's fun. He fits me perfectly. So we're, when I had to pick a teammate, it was going to be me, and I was like, no, man, we're going to get somebody else. And so I called Lance, and he was a good sport. So that was fun.
Yeah, Lance is always a good sport. I like Lance and the team over there. They're good guys. So
yep.
It's funny. Anything big planned for the rest of the year? You guys got any more shows coming up, or anything you're going to do?
Yeah, so we go to Puerto Rico in July. So there's a big refrigeration show out there, and then you start the circuit again, right? This fall is the Middle East, and then the spring's the Middle East, and you got Germany, and you got Italy. So you're starting to do that, and it's the same circuit over and over and over. So it's all the international stuff that we do is, we're adding people. So we're going to add 5, 6 more people, growing the team as we start to grow the market, and just keep putting the right people in place to get it done. So, because that's really what we do is walk around and train everybody, constantly train and introduce and let people use the tool, try the tool, all that. I want to stay close to Ben. I need to call him this week. We're talking about doing something together on, Ben coming out, and, there's no better trainer than a contractor, right? So, as Ben starts to, ramp up HVAC tactical, just kind of working with him in some areas to do some things and keep pushing forward here, man.
Yep. I mean, you guys have always been huge supporters of mine. So I teach twice a year for Safesta. I teach basic refrigeration. So, I mean, it's guys that have a little bit of experience. They got their EPA, but they're not very experienced. I mean, we teach brazing. So, but when I started coming on board, and once I got the press tool, I started bringing in fittings, and we make a little. I let them have free reign to do whatever design they want, but they have to use like 1/4 inch, 3/8. They have to use like 1/4 3/8 reducer. Braze that in. They use different kinds of brazing rod. And then I was like, hey, I'm gonna add in the press. We, you guys send us out some fittings, and we press in a 3/8 fitting in there. And then what we do is we pressurize it. We make them cut off a section, pinch it off, and cut it off under pressure to simulate the R290 stuff like we do. And then we soak it in water and look for leaks. And the guys are always freaking out about that press fitting. And then you throw it in a bucket, and then their braze joints leak somewhere else, and that fitting's not. And it's pressurized 300 psi. I said, not the tool, it's you.
Yeah, water molecules are huge. So yeah, it's definitely not doing anything.
So those guys they enjoy pressing. And a lot of them are like, hey, where'd you get this tool at? I was like, hey, you can get it here, here, and here. And they're all pretty cool. And I've had some companies go out and buy it because their guys have seen it. And they wanted to use it. I mean, it's worth it. I mean, I don't know what more to tell guys. I tell people all the time, if you're in the Indy area, if you're in Central Indiana and you are on the fence about RLS, I will come to you. I will let you use my gun. I will find fittings and I will show you how to use it, and you can use it yourself. And you can decide.
Yeah, no, and like I said, you're one of the guys. I mean, there's a handful of you guys, but the fact that you do that on your own, we appreciate, right? And that's why you'll always get special treatment out of me. You need something, I got you. I mean, here you are teaching press in a school, and you don't have to do that. So,
No,
it goes to show you your fortitude to help because listen, you got to do it all. Someday you're gonna have to know it all, so you might as well know it all. Doesn't mean that it's binary. You either got to do this or you got to do this. It ain't like that. You got to do it all, man. You got better learn it all. So I'm glad they're teaching it in schools. I'm glad guys like you run around and do it, because eventually you're going to have to know it. You go to the Northeast and do a job, you'll get whooped on price, because those guys aren't ever, a lot of those guys aren't brazing any jobs because they're not allowed to.
Yep. Yeah, I always tell guys, like, look, I said, if I have to put a compressor in and I can't get a burn permit, I said, I put stubs in at the shop, braze them at the shop, leave it, a foot long or whatever, cap them off, close them off. I go to the job site and I cut them off and I press the compressor in. I'm like,
Yep.
I don't need a fire watch. I don't need a guy there. There's dryers out there now you can get, or you can put in a flare dryer with the press fittings. There's plenty of options out there to keep you from brazing on site if you can't get a burn permit.
And I don't even know what they cost. What's a burn permit cost in Indiana? Like, what's Butler charge, or what's the county charge?
Charge us. We have to have so much insurance, so I'm not sure. It's just an insurance thing, and then it's just a liability thing. So it's free for most places, but I'm not sure. You have to have a minimum insurance for, like, it depends on the building. So Butler's are historical buildings, so they want you to have more insurance. We actually had a job at Eli Lilly at their new kitchen they built in downtown Indy.
Oh, yeah.
They told us, I said, hey, I got to use a torch. And the lady told me, she goes, you will never light a torch in this building. She said, you don't have enough insurance. And she said, you got to take a 2-week class to light a torch in here.
Wow.
I said, see you later.
Yeah. Or I don't know what the guy costs to sit there for 8 hours, but surely to God, it's dumb. So, yeah.
Well, we charge the customer $139 an hour for a guy standing there.
Yeah. So, yeah. I mean,
from $30 to $50 an hour, depending on who he is or what he does. I mean, it adds up pretty fast.
Well, yeah, if you're a guy that doesn't factor that in, you're going to get beat if you're factoring it in. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, like I said, you might as well do it all. You're going to have to learn it all one day. It doesn't have to be RLS, but you know what I mean? Learn how to press.
Yeah.
Even if it's for water.
We got HVAC J604 in the house. He's under his wife's name, Nicola Norman. You sure it's not your alter ego, Jay? He said he got a package in the mail the other day.
He did, and guess what? I felt so bad. He's one of the guys where the volume for me is going off the chart. So the guys that are paying for tools, right? Because I always hook up I call them my guys. Jay's one of my guys. So, when people are paying for stuff, I gotta ship paying customers. So Jay waited way too long for his Paul present. So, I might have to make up for that one day. But yes, we finally got it to him. I feel horrible it took that long, and hopefully he's excited to use it. Or
he sent me pictures. He flipped the boxes open. I was like, "How you got 2 boxes?" I was like, "Oh, because the jaws are in foam in a separate box now." I was like, "Okay."
Yeah. Yeah, I tried to. Yeah, I think Jeff. We entered another. I think Jeff's doing another award. I think yes. So Jeff posted that up already.
Yep, Jeff's in here actually.
Yeah. He's been there he is. See, he's been fantastic. Jeff's one of our guys,
Dude, Jeff's phenomenal, man.
Yes, we always like to hook him up. Alex's kid's getting ready to turn 1. I've been keeping an eye on his son. So yeah, he's one of the RLS babies. So we keep track of all the kids too.
Yeah, that was funny. Speaking of kids, so my kid.
I think of what to do for him, man, because his kid's getting ready to turn 1. So he's got to get some RLS presents, and his kid's not going to want press tools, so we got to figure something else out.
Let's get on that one. So, like I said, we're talking about kids. So my son works for me. He bought a house a couple weeks ago, and I get the picture from him from his realtor, and he's wearing his RLS shirt. I was just
Yeah.
I was like, hey, at least he knows what's up.
Yeah, that was cool. Yeah, so it's how old is he?
20 years old, man.
Damn, and he already bought a house. That's crazy. Yeah, I was there.
About $170,000 house. It's
Where,
nuts.
in Anderson?
It's over in Elwood. So I
Oh,
live
okay. Yep.
in Frankton, and Elwood's like the next little town over. So yeah, he's excited. He's new homeowner. He's trying to hang curtains. There's house remodel, so there's no curtain rods or nothing up, and he's putting holes in his wall, and there's no cable line, so he had to drill a hole for a cable line for his modem. He was freaking out about drilling a hole in his house, and it's just 20-year-old kid stuff.
They say, hey, you used to dent and throw holes in my house all the time, so get the drilling, dude.
Dude, my fridge has like 5 or 6 fist prints in it from him, man. It's just
Yeah.
You got Brett Wetzel in the house, man. We got all kinds of people in there. Yeah, everyone's talking about the RLS baby. That's great.
Yeah. Yeah, it's Max. He was the first RLS baby, I think.
Yeah, because he came before me because she was pregnant, and he wanted to make sure he got through before she gave birth.
Well, he was the very first one, yeah, because he was getting ready to be born. So yeah. But he's almost 1, dude. I mean, I think he's 9 months old. I mean, he's
Crazy.
He's not far from walking.
I could imagine having a 1-year-old right now. My wife a few years ago wanted to. She's like, "Oh, we're financially stable and secure. Let's have another one." And our youngest was like 12, and I was like, "No, you're absolutely crazy." I was like, "We're about out of this. We're not starting over now."
It's a young man's game, man. I mean, that's the God's honest truth. You have to have some energy for that.
I did it super young, so I'm 41 and my daughter's 22.
Okay.
So we did it 19 years old. We did that venture, and I'm not trying to do it again.
Well, yeah, you gave up one side, but you get the other side back. So when you're 40, right, you're done. You get to.
Well, that's why
those guys start partying like they were 20. So that's what you got to do.
I'm just doing. I try it, man, and I'm dead for 3 days every time I try it now. So
yeah.
So Brett Wetzel, he does some stuff. He does a lot of training. He's a pretty smart dude. He's a really knowledgeable guy. I like Brett. We got all kinds of people in here. What's your question, LED? I didn't see it, man. It's scrolling so fast. I missed some of it. Let me scroll through and see if I can't find it. But yeah, I seen Jeff's contest. I made sure I tagged my son and one of my other apprentices in there and make sure they can get in there and get in on that one.
Yeah, we got some stuff lined up. We're going to start doing more of that stuff. I've always said this, but it used to piss me off when guys would say, "Hey, I can't wait to use your product, but my boss won't buy me a tool." I'm like, I'm ending that. So that's how a lot of guys have gotten tools. Is like, dude, I'll show your boss who's boss. Like, come here, give me your damn name. They don't care if they buy fittings and stuff like that, but they won't buy a tool. I mean, man, I don't know if guys are rough on them. I don't know. I mean, you'd have to tell me.
Mine stays in the box. It's on the bottom shelf, lashed in place. It ain't going anywhere. I make sure. I cannot find your question, LED Handyman. Can you please type it again? I'll get to it, please. So, but no, yeah, that's a pretty cool giveaway. I look forward to seeing who wins that one.
I'm trying to think of who won. It was who won last time? Was it? Can't remember. LeBron. I always know the Instagram handles. Actually, I'll look real quick.
I knew it was. I mean, I know a couple of guys that have won some. I know HVAC CSG. He won one. Did he win at AHR?
He won that at AHR.
Okay. Jeff says you're the man.
I cannot remember. Jeff would know. He's on here, right?
Yeah. Who won the last one, Jeff? Do you remember?
He's done a real good job with it on. I mean, I've seen him using it all the time, so it's always nice to see guys win and then they're using it. Yeah. His Instagram handle it's HVAC 303, I think.
I'm not sure his name.
His name's Austin J. He's in Denver. Yeah, I think he won. I'm not positive, but I think so.
Nice.
Well, we'll see who wins this time. He's got a lot of guys eager to do it, so we'll try to get one started here.
Yeah. Sweet. Well, anything else you want to push or promote or tell everybody about? Like everybody here before we jump off here.
No, man, I'm good. I got nothing. Just plowing along, man. It's money season, so trying to keep your head above water. That's all we're doing.
Yeah, it's definitely summer. It's been pretty cool here, so it's been kind of slow. It got hot for like a week, and then it got like abnormally cool. I opened my pool, and it's been like 50 degrees every morning when I go to work, so you can't use it type weather.
It's coming though. I mean, that's what I've always said this. We pray for this at RLS, hot weather and natural disasters, man. That's what we pray for. You know, everything that moves pipe and equipment.
Yeah, that's funny. So, all right, man. Well, you guys check out RLS. They got a pretty good sale going on right now. If you're looking to get some tooling, $500 off the 19 kilonewton with the 5-jaw set, $500 off the 32 kilonewton tool, or $500 off the 32 kilonewton 8-jaw set. So if you're looking to get into pressing and you already have, a 350 or a bigger Milwaukee or rigid gun, that may be an option to go to. If you don't do any water or anything like that, look at the sets, man. It's well worth it.
Yep. So, well, Pat, keep doing it, man. We'll talk soon, dude.
Yeah, I'm about to get back out there this summer. I got some time off for July week. I may come out, see what's up. If you're gonna be around,
I'll be around for sure.
I may have to come out for a couple of days and hang out.
Okay.
All right.
Well, dude, hey, have a good one, man. You guys have a good evening. See you, Pat.
Thanks. See you guys.